Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. We just hit 30.3k subscribers. Can we get to 31k by the end of the month? Please like this video down below and subscribe before we get started. But now we're going to do a 2020 Senate map prediction. Honestly, this is something that we are going to do. Today we have done our post-crisis presidential prediction. Now we are doing our post-crisis Senate map. So we're going to start on the East Coast, we're going to work our way west, and we are going to fill out this map accordingly. So the state of Maine, this is a state that I once said would be safe red. Well, I'm going to eat my words because recent polling, recent trends, the impeachment vote of Susan Collins is causing her to be a little bit underwater. And no, I'm not talking about Morning Consult. If you use Morning Consult, if you are one of those morons that will berate my comment section talking about how great Morning Consult is, this is not the place for you. That is low intellect garbage polling. Most of my audience knows this by now, but if you see a poll having Collins down 25 in her approval rating on Morning Consult, doesn't mean it's accurate. Those aggregate sites, Morning Consult, to a lesser degree Civics, honestly, garbage. So for Maine, I'm still going to put it in the Republican column. However, it is going to be in the lean Republican column, not the likely column, not the safe column. I believe Collins will win the state of Maine. I think Trump has a great shot to actually win in the at-large state of Maine, and you definitely have ranked choice voting and things like that in an independent-minded state should probably be enough to put Susan Collins over the top in the state of Maine. As for the state of New Hampshire, this is something that we have seen recently. The polling numbers that we've seen from Jeanne Shaheen have actually declined significantly since when you had the pre-impeachment vote. Definitely it is a very polarized state, and Shaheen is running in a state that is roughly a pure toss-up. It was a pure toss-up in 2016. Half the state likes Trump, the other half of the state does not like Trump so much, but I do believe that you are going to see a very close race. The problem is, for the Republicans, is they have not yet settled on a perfect candidate. They really don't have a candidate from here. So I'm going to put it in the lean blue column. However, that is subject to change. If they have a very, very good candidate in the state of New Hampshire that's able to gain a lot of momentum very fast, maybe you will see a long shot pickup for the Republicans in New Hampshire. But until then, I'm going to have to put it in the lean blue column. If you saw Kelly Ayotte run, which she is not running, if you saw Chris Sununu run, which she is not running, I believe that the state would honestly be a flip, but right now we just don't have that right now. So it's going to be in the blue column for now. In the state of Massachusetts, that is going to be going in favor of the Democrat. We don't know which Democrat, though. It could be on the hands of Ed Markey, or it could be Joe Kennedy III that is going to take the seat. So we really don't know about Massachusetts. So right now we're going to put that in the safe blue column, but we just don't know who the Democrat's going to be. Rhode Island is probably in the safe blue column for now. New Jersey, the same thing there. Interestingly enough, in Delaware, the Republican presumptive nominee is going to be a candidate called Lauren Witzke. Lauren Witzke is actually an America First conservative. Actually, he has a very great platform going on, talking about combating the opioid crisis, talking about closing down the border, ending things like immigration, ending all sorts of things that are bad for this country. Definitely an America First conservative. I really hope that she would be able to win. The problem is Delaware is a very blue state, and while that can change, it's probably still going to be going in the Democrat column, likely or safe. However, I do hope that Lauren puts up a great fight in the state of Delaware. The state of Virginia, it really doesn't seem like we have a big understanding of who the Republican candidate will be in the state of Virginia. I'm going to put it in the likely blue column. I believe that it will probably be a hold for Mark Warner. He's probably going to win it between 5 to 10 points, really depending on if there's a Republican nominee that's able to make a very strong push for the state of Virginia. That's something that we are honestly going to have to see in the coming months right now. State of West Virginia, we're going to put that in the likely red column. I don't see a Dem challenger that can pick off the state of West Virginia. Again, you have a lot of legacy Dems in West Virginia. There's just not going to be a Dem candidate that's going to pick it off. In fact, we should just move it to the safe column right now. Richard Ojeda not running for the state, for the Senate there in West Virginia right now. I believe that is going to stay safe. However, the governor's race there can get more competitive. Same thing in the state of Tennessee. It's going to be safe no matter what. Phil Bredesen running again won't even change anything in the state of Tennessee. He already lost last time, by a safe margin, I believe. So you already see this here. These are states that are not flipping into the Democrat column anytime soon in the Senate race or the governor race, if you will. The state of Kentucky, I'm going to put that in the likely red column. Mitch McConnell probably has a very good grip on the seat in Kentucky. I really don't see a Democrat really competing. Amy McGrath compared Trump's victory to 9/11, so obviously I don't think that she is going to cruise to any sort of a Matt Bevin versus Andy Beshear type of victory on any circumstance. She lost her district, which actually votes to the left of the state of Kentucky. I don't believe she'll be able to defeat Mitch McConnell. No matter how unpopular Mitch McConnell is, he has a very good operation going in the state of Kentucky. The state of Illinois probably still going to go in the Democrat column. Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi in the Republican column. I do believe Alabama is going to go for Tommy Tuberville, even though Jeff Sessions is running. I don't believe he will win the primary, and I definitely believe that Alabama is going to go for Tuberville when it's all said and done. Again, Doug Jones shot himself in the foot right when he basically said that he is going to support the impeachment of Donald Trump. He potentially had a chance for bipartisanship and maybe to save his own career, but he didn't decide to do that. So right now, he shot himself in the foot, career suicide. I guess you could say maybe he'll be hoping for a position in a Biden administration that probably will never exist. So I do believe that Alabama is going to go for the Republican easily. Doug Jones, that's an easy flip. I don't see any chance of it winning, no matter if we're in a recession by then or not. South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, he's going to win that seat safe. The state of Georgia, one of the seats is going to probably be in the safe column, mainly because you see the polling between the Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are going to freeze out the Democrats of the runoff election in Georgia. So really, I believe it's going to be safe because you really don't have a Democrat challenger that is going to be really anything of note there. I don't believe they're going to be able to win the state of Georgia. I guess if you want, we can put it in likely for now because it's too early. Again, if we're going to be putting Kentucky in likely, we might as well be fair and put that in likely. Georgia's other Senate, I don't believe that David Perdue is going to have much competition. That's another thing we're going to put in the likely column. And by the way, I wanted to show you this because we're going to do North Carolina in a second. Here is a graph that I posted on my Twitter. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, I would recommend that you do follow me on Twitter at Red Eagle Patriot. The link is in description. I do a lot of election analysis and political analysis on Twitter. I'd recommend you follow me there. But this graph that I posted showed that Republicans have gained 116,000 new registered voters since the midterm elections in North Carolina, which is where the Republicans actually won the popular vote in the midterm elections for the House races in North Carolina. So I do believe that North Carolina is going to be a red state. You have had polls that have showed Biden beating Trump. I really don't believe those. Many of those polls have very big amounts of undecided voters, many of which I believe would flock to Trump. I do believe Thom Tillis is going to win. I believe he's going to win fairly narrowly. I think Donald Trump will carry him to the finish line because he's not too popular among Republicans, but at the same time, I do believe Cal Cunningham is not going to be able to beat him because of the Trump endorsement, Trump at the top of the ticket. Trump wins the state by 4. Tillis probably going to win by 2 or so, and North Carolina is going to go in the Republican column. As for the state of Michigan, I do believe that John James is still going to be able to pull off a victory here against Gary Peters. Peters, not really well known here. John James is a great ad game, a great ground game, and great crossover appeal. Donald Trump and him are going to carry each other to the finish line in Michigan, as you see here. I do believe John James is still going to win the state of Michigan in the Senate race here. The state of Minnesota, however, Jason Lewis is running against Tina Smith. It's going to probably be very close. It's going to come down to the wire, so to speak, actually, but I do believe this is going to be one that's going to stay in the Democrat column for now. It's definitely a state that Donald Trump has a chance to win in November, but we're going to have to see. Obviously, Jason Lewis could win the seat, but right now I'm going to have to put it in the tilt Dem to lean Dem column right now. The state of Iowa, Joni Ernst is running for re-election in the state of Iowa. Honestly, you see some polls. Again, Morning Consults, or as I should say, Morning Compost is absolute garbage when it comes to this, having her as one of the least popular senators in the country. Most polls that I've seen have had her ahead. The last poll showed Donald Trump winning the state by 10 to 11 points. Honestly, Joni Ernst is safe, if not likely. We're going to put her in the likely red column right now, so I do believe that she is going to win in the state of Iowa. South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Alaska. We can just put those in the safe column automatically, and just like that, if Trump wins the presidency, it's going to look like the Republicans, no matter what, are going to win the Senate. That doesn't even take into consideration states we have not done yet. Montana is an interesting one. You honestly would expect the current Democrat governor running against the Republican, hey, wait a minute, this could get a little bit competitive, right? Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Statewide races are very much different than the Senate races. You saw this when Bill Weld in Massachusetts, who was a very popular governor, ran for Senate, and he lost by 10 to 15 points back in the day. You're going to see a similar thing here. Again, he's basically just another Phil Bredesen. He won by 4 points against a young earth creationist in 2016. Donald Trump outperformed John Fort significantly in the state of Montana, and Steve Bullock barely won. So we're going to have to see what happens here, but the polls are showing it to be roughly a 10-point win or so for Steve Daines. Steve Daines is much more popular than Greg Gianforte is, who's a young earth creationist and a misdemeanor type of criminal. So actually, I do believe that Montana is going to go in favor of Steve Daines in the likely column. Bullock running doesn't really change anything. The state of Texas, I do believe John Cornyn. I could move this to the safe column by November. We're going to put it as likely red for now, but there's basically just no way that he's going to lose. He is a much less polarizing figure than Ted Cruz was. He's definitely more Greg Abbott than Ted Cruz. The nominee of the Democrats that's going to be running against him is not going to have that profile Beto had, even when Beto decided to fake himself as a moderate and run for Senate. So I do believe Texas is going to stay in the Republican column. It probably will be moved to the safe Republican column on my map before the end of the year. As for the state of Kansas, Chris Kobach running in the Kansas Senate race, it looks like he is going to win the nomination for the Republicans right now. That is subject to change. He's not a very popular candidate. However, even in the Democrat internal polls where they have their so-called star candidate, Kobach is still leading. Again, the national environment is different than the state environment. People are not going to vote for an anti-Trump person if they want to pass Trump's agenda through the Senate, and Donald Trump's going to win Kansas by probably 15 points. I think Chris Kobach is going to win by 6 or 7 right now. We could see. I could move it to the lean column in the meantime, but I'm going to put it in the likely column for now. Another likely state will be in the state of New Mexico. I definitely believe that this is going to be a state that will be moved into the likely column. Definitely you see this here. You don't really see a very, very strong Republican challenger, but it is an open seat. Anything could happen. It could flip to the Republicans if they run a very good campaign in New Mexico, if Donald Trump wins New Mexico. But for right now, I'm going to put New Mexico in the likely blue column. Oregon is a state we can put in the safe blue column. However, the state of Colorado, I'm going to move this to the lean blue column. I don't think Gardner's dead. There are many scandals surrounding Hickenlooper. It's a much different race where you have the governor versus the incumbent senator than what you have up in Montana. However, I do believe that this is going to be a Democrat flip when it's all said and done. Cory Gardner, he might be able to do better in the suburbs than Trump, and I definitely believe that Donald Trump is going to keep this race within the state of Colorado between him and Biden within 6 or 7 points. Maybe it could be a 4-point win for Biden is actually what I have it at right now, and you could see Gardner and Hickenlooper have a similar result in their final election. But right now I'm going to put Colorado in the lean blue column. The state of Arizona. This is one that's very key, and I might get some heat for this, but I do believe that right now, I do believe Donald Trump is going to win the state, but I do believe that Mark Kelly is going to win the Senate election over Martha McSally. Martha McSally, she's tanking in every poll. I don't believe the polls mean everything. There's a poll that has her down like 15. I think that poll is BS. I definitely think she'll lose. She'll probably lose by 1 to 2 percentage points at the end of the day. It's not over for her, but it's definitely going to be a very tough, close race. It's going to be a battleground race. We're going to have to look at the polling leading up to the election, but when it's all said and done, I think that it could very well be a Democrat flip. Mark Kelly is running a fairly conservative so-called Cactus Roots campaign, even more conservative than Kyrsten Sinema, who wanted to send the troops down to the border to stop the migrant caravan. So as you see here, the end result is 53 seats for the Republicans, 47 seats for the Democrats. They traded Colorado for Alabama and Arizona for Michigan, so the answer answer to the question is yes, Republicans are going to be able to keep the Senate. They probably will keep the Senate if Trump wins. However, 2022 is going to be very tough, so it's important that we yield the right candidates in order to get the job done. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, donate to the Patreon and Subscribe Star, join the Discord and subreddit, links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.